Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to another Happy Hump Day Wednesday live stream. I apologize ahead of time for being a few minutes late, just having a few technical difficulties out here. It's very hot, very humid, and you already know what they say about that. You get hot and bothered, and I was a little hot and bothered, all right? But hey, we're here, and we're going to start the show. So welcome everybody. Today's show, as you guys already saw from the title, we're going to be talking about the new civil war, and we're going to be talking about all that, all the turmoil that's happening in the U.S. and all over the world, and how to get ready, how to prepare, how to do all that stuff. Because guys, it's not going to be pretty, and guys, it's only just getting started right now. All right, one thing after the other. But before we get rolling, before we get started, I got a few things I want to talk to you guys about. In fact, let me see if I can show you guys real quick. But anyways, first off, don't forget to check out the website, okay? Don't forget to check out all the links on the website, because, I have a little bit of love-hate relationship with YouTube. I love YouTube. YouTube is amazing and great and beyond awesome. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be on, I wouldn't have a platform to be on. I wouldn't have you guys to be here and share all this awesomeness with and everything that comes with that. But as you know, some of the content I produce is, sometimes YouTube doesn't like it, or people that watch YouTube don't like it, whatever. So with that being said, I had to create a brand new website, which you guys already know of, which I post other videos on. Also, all the videos that I post on this channel, including the live streams, I post on BitChute, on Library, and so on and so forth. And I just wanted make sure that you guys already know, for all the new viewers out there and for all the old viewers, that please don't forget to check out all my other content. As Lucifer was just saying in the chat right now, again, last night, I was doing my podcast with Chance, just like I do it tomorrow night, and I have a million things going on all over the place. In fact, there's this brand new thing that I kind of just want to show you guys. It's called Coin Tree. Okay, for those of you guys out there in the crypto space, in the crypto world, and you guys might know Naomi Brockwell. Well, she, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get this thing on over here. She just started this brand new, website, this new thing over here. It's kind of just, a way to keep all of your things secure. All of, not secure, to keep all of your links in one spot organized. So for example, in the case of me, where I have a YouTube channel, I got an online presence, I'm constantly being attacked from one form or another, this is perfect because I get to put all of my links here, all of them, and they're very easy. I'm on my everything from Twitch to Twitter to Instagram to YouTube to to my actual website to a PayPal link. I got all the crypto links and everything in between. So it just basically, you click the link over here, you just go to Coin Tree. Man, you guys can't even see it. I didn't think this one out through too much because I haven't added it to the website yet, and I haven't added it to anywhere yet. I just signed up for this. But anyways, I'm going to keep talking to you guys about this in shows to come, and I'm going to put the links down below so you guys know exactly where to find this and check it out, and see if you can help other YouTubers that you like and other creators out there that you really enjoy, and they're having a similar situation with censorship and stuff like that. Share this with them, because I to me, this is very invaluable, and it was so easy to set up. It was very easy to set up, and then just click and bam, it just takes you straight to boom, my BitChute channel, for example. Okay, which again, this is where I've had to post a lot of where I post a lot of my videos, same as Library and stuff like that, because like this last video that I just posted on Sunday, this thing's already almost at 800 views in just a couple days. And yeah, it's just again, talking about my thoughts on the new American Civil War that's coming, talking about what's going on with the Confederate flag, with that whole deal. By the way, in case it hasn't, in case you guys haven't already figured it out, I'm not on either side of anything here. I'm not here defending the Confederate flag. I'm not here to shit on the Confederate flag. Same thing with the the Union and America and all these things. I'm just here to provide as many angles to all these problems that we're dealing with, so that we can all look at it constructively and talk about it, and we can hear all kinds of opinions and all kinds of everything, from everyone out there, so that we're all as best informed as possible, so we can make the best possible decisions going forward as possible. Because now, as each day goes on, doesn't matter what country you're in, we're starting to see this really, just keep ramping up. And it's not going to end anytime soon. This is only getting started. And like I was saying before, and like I've said, I'm going to keep saying again, the epicenter, where the shit is really going to hit the fan, is going to be in the United States of America. I mean, the shit is hitting the fan all over the place, but really, the United States is the one that's going to be, hit the hardest, from my estimation. Just because they're, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. It's just using that same... what is it, like what is it, knowledge or whatever? All right, so I'm trying to see if I can, because I use my phone, my backup phone here, in order to chat with you guys, to have the chat going on. Oh man, and I fucking unplugged it like a fucking moron. I am the worst. I got Christian over here looking at me like this guy's retarded. Yeah, he's very retarded. Anyways, okay, all right. Oh, I said a bad word. Hold on. That's the YouTube, that's a YouTube alarm, because I said a bad word there. Sorry about that, guys. Even if I'm talking about myself, it still can't be done. I think I'm just gonna use my regular phone here, guys. Sorry, I'm all over the place today. It's been a crazy few days, actually. To tell you the truth, like I've actually been so busy. I've been working since like 7 in the morning, all the way through basically till I go to bed at night, like 10 o'clock at night. But even later last night, just helping people, all kinds of people. You know what I mean? Like answer questions, consulting. Even later last night, just helping people. I just can't. I just love my voice so much. I gotta fucking double hear me. Anyways, sorry about that. You wanna look? I got Kristen over here having her breakfast, and chatting, and she's just there. Look, even Lambo's shaking his head. Look. Okay. But as I... Sorry, I know. I cracked myself up, huh? Anyways. As long as someone's laughing, right? So, what was I saying? Well, you know what? Let's... what was I saying? I was saying something... Oh, yes. Something that's very important that I wanted to talk to you guys about on the channel. And now that I got a bunch of you guys in here, perfect time to talk about it. So... on YouTube, I just got, what's the word I'm looking for? I just got approved, in order to have memberships. So as you guys can see right there on my YouTube page, and same as you're going to find down below in the live stream, I have a new button now associated with the channel. It's called the membership thing, the join membership thing. So I'm still working on it because I just got it, and I got it approved this morning. But here, let's just click on it real quick so you guys can see what's up. But this is for you guys out there, the fans. This is something again for you. You know what I mean? No purchase necessary. In order to get the fullness of Jose. But if you guys want a little extra Jose, or want to be a little extra special in the community or whatever, man. I made these for you because again, YouTube told me to make them for you, so I made them, and here you go. So. By the way, so these are in Mexican prices, but I think this is supposed to be $4.99. So $4.99 gets you, badges. You know what I mean? Like if you join for $4.99 a month, you get like a little badge next to your name, and I'm gonna have special gifts, like gifts that you can put in the chat. So again, you can interact. I think for $10 a month, you get to get a super special duper shout out on my videos, on my live stream, and then also get to ask me a question. And I get to answer that question, on the live stream. Talk about a particular subject you want me to talk about once a month. And then for $25 a month, you get a 1-hour video call with me. So for those of you guys out there that don't know, I offer services already for, my consulting, for expat, for whatever, a bunch of things that I do, and that's basically what I charge. So actually, if you get it on YouTube, you're going to save yourself a penny. So, You know, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So, but anyways, the point is that it's basically $25 an hour for Jose time, and then you know what I mean. You can purchase 1 hour of one-on-one with me. But anyways, I just put these out there for you guys. No purchase necessary. You don't have to fucking do any of this stuff. It's not like I make really any money off of this. You know, YouTube gets a huge cut and all this stuff. But I do know how the whole YouTube community works and how we work and do stuff out here, and it's fun, you know what I mean? Like, there's a bunch of, people out there that would enjoy these things a lot, you know what I mean? You guys included. And so that's why I was like, well, let me take the initiative and see if I can, provide this for you guys. Now, tomorrow night, on the podcast that I'm going to be recording with Chance, the Boomer and the Zoomer, again, check the links down below. I'm going to be creating emojis. We were going to do it last night, but since I wasn't approved yet, I wanted to wait, to just double check. But tomorrow night, we're going to start making like emojis and start making like GIFs or whatever the hell. And we're going to do it live on air. So if you want to join in, if you have something in special that you want to create and, just add to the fun, join us tomorrow night around 9 p.m. Eastern Central. Tomorrow night on the Boomer and the Zoomer. Link is down below. And you can... Again, we're doing the same thing, only it's a lot more fun. We tend to, just have more fun at night than during the day. During the day, again, we're preparing for war here. All right, so... Oh, wait, wrong one. It's like, we're preparing for war. So, no, más que una. Well, you know what? Yeah, tráeme las dos. Yeah, because I was asking Christian to hand me over my props. Because right now, the nation, the US of A is under siege. And, either if we don't act quickly, this right here could be a thing of the past and it could be replaced by something like this, Or I don't have a hammer and sickle, but this is as close to communism as possible. I'm Cuban, by the way, so I know a little bit about this situation here. So, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, we're trying to avoid being communist here or whatever, whatever's going to happen with the U.S. and we're trying to remain the Union. We're trying to save the Union, save the country. So we're living through some interesting times and, the things that are going on in the U.S., they're affecting the rest of the world at the moment, Mexico included, obviously, and just about every country around the world is being affected heavily by this. So, that's why we're going to be here talking about this. Not just talking about it, but, we want to provide solutions here. That is the whole main idea to a lot of the things that we do here. We're trying to provide solutions, So one of the solutions that I like to talk about, and I'm going to be talking more in depth, you know what I mean? I don't like just to talk about it, I like to really talk about it. Yeah, no shit. Bruh. Anyway, so, but like one of the things that I have on prompt here as to one of the main things to prepare with is this thing called Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. And again, now is a great time to look at the price and maybe get ready to do some purchasing because we're starting to see some dropping in price. So I've been sitting on a few bucks. I've been kind of waiting to purchase, because I know I'm following this a little bit. And so to me, it's just like buying gold or silver or buying anything else. If you're buying this for the long run, if you're buying this as an investment, if you're buying this, to save your, for your future, in order to save your wealth and all these other things, protect your wealth, protect everything you worked hard for, and protect your everything, then it really doesn't kind of matter what you buy it at because you already know in the long run what this is really going to be worth. So, I mean, yeah, granted, I would rather buy Bitcoin at $9,000 as opposed to $9,500 because I'm gonna get a little bit more bang for my buck. Just like I would rather get this silver coin for $15 as opposed to $22. But again, in the long run, knowing that, here, let me give you an example. Knowing that this silver coin is gonna be priced at, no, wrong one, hold on. Knowing that this silver coin is gonna be priced at, once it's all said and done, it's going to be priced at $3,700. Does it really matter if you buy this thing at 15 or 22? You know what I mean? Again, yeah, if you buy more silver at 15, you're going to get more silver. But again, when you're looking just at that, just this perspective, meaning that even if you buy, well, no matter what you buy it at, 15, 22, $30, whatever, once it's all said and done, it's going to be worth $3,700. Does it really fucking matter what you're buying it at? You know what I mean? So that's why it's all about stacking. with a lot of the money that you're getting from the U.S. government, a lot of the money that you might be getting right now, instead of buying a brand new TV, instead of buying a fucking, whatever that is, whatever the fuck it is you want to buy, you should be investing in your future. And again, there's a lot of ways to invest in your future. A lot of people prefer stocks. There's a lot of ways. Hey, I make money many ways. I'm trying to, establish businesses. I'm trying to do many things with my money, not just, buy gold or Bitcoin or whatever. I'm trying to make the money work. And so I suggest that you guys do the same thing. Figure out what is best for you, all right, and make that money work for you. But don't let it sit in dollars. Don't be, buying government bonds. Don't be investing in the system that has let you down literally since you've been born. You need to start, looking at other investment vehicles and another way out. And that's basically it. That's where we're kind of what we're going to be talking and discussing today. And there's a lot of ways to get ready. It just depends on where you are in the world, where you are in the U.S., what you have ready so far, what you don't have ready, and what you're more comfortable with, and all these things. We're going to be talking about all that because when I posted the video, when I posted my last video on Sunday talking about the brand new Civil War, American Civil War 2020. Here, let me see if I can just get I'll show the thumb. I think it'll be easier. Okay, but yeah, here's the thumb for the thingy. Okay, but yeah, when I posted this video on Sunday, if you haven't seen it, check it out after you're done here. This video it was very polarizing. A lot of you guys really enjoyed it. It seemed like it got really popular, and a lot of people were talking about it, but it really did bring a lot of people out of the woodwork. Basically so many people, calling me white supremacist, calling me a racist, calling me, all of these horrible things just because I was talking about the Confederate flag, not defending it or anything, just talking about it, talking about the history, talking about what, again, you need to know your history. We need to know our past in order not to repeat it. And yet, the whole fucking thing just got blown out of proportion. And, people talking about all that flag represents is slavery. All this stuff represents is slavery and badness, and you're bad. And I'm like, no, man, that's not what it represents. That if that's what you want it to represent. But the reality is that that's not what the flag represented. The reality is that most people don't even know the actual history of what happened back then, why we got into the Civil War, what happened during it, what happened after the Civil War, and so on and so forth. And, as I was reading the comments, as I was watching the video, do its thing, I realized, a very important thing that most people are dealing with right now is the fact that most people are not educated at all, on any of this stuff. And not only are they not educated, but they refuse to get educated. They just refuse. I would have people in the description of the video, and again, you can look at the video itself and look at the comments and stuff like that. But again, yeah, people in the comments were leaving all kinds of things like, oh, you got to read the 13th Amendment and this and that. And then, they would send me a link, and the link was to someone commenting on what the 13th Amendment did. And I'm like, listen, guys, in order for you to understand this, you need to actually read the 13th Amendment and see what it actually says, and use your own intelligence in order to, in order to decipher it, in order to translate it, in order to understand what it says. It's not that difficult. In fact, might as well look at it right now. But the point is that once you understand this, then things start becoming a little bit easier to digest, assuming you want to. Let me see if I can find where is. Hold on. I'm just gonna Google 13th Amendment, and that's it. But anyways, once you read it, we're gonna read it together, okay? Then you make your own decision on it, okay? Let me see, 13th Amendment. No. See, look, look at this. Look, when you look at Google, look at this. 13th Amendment simplified. 13th Amendment definition. 13th Amendment documentary. 13th Amendment Netflix. 13th Amendment, all this ratified. Summary. Loophole. USA. And it's like, look at the last thing right there. The last one. Text. That should be the first one. That should be the fucking first one. Because it's not like we're looking at a fucking 13,000 page document here. It's only a few sentences that most people can understand. But again, most people don't even want to go that far. People don't want to read the fucking text. They just want, they just want someone to give them a Cliff Notes version of it, or to give them their definition of it, which again, their definition is usually a lot longer and a lot more complicated than actually reading the 13th Amendment. All right? So, by the way, the reason I didn't go to that other site was because the text was too small, and I want you guys to read it with me, okay? So you guys know what the fuck is going on, all right? So we can all see it together, all right? So here we go. 13th Amendment. Okay, look at this. Do we need a summary? Look at that. That is it. That is the whole 13th Amendment, okay? So look at this, and then look at it. Read interpretations of the 13th Amendment. Why do we need to read interpretations of it? We can read it right there. Okay, so look. So it's about, look, 13th Amendment, abolition of slavery, okay? Section 1. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. So again, let's translate that really quickly. Okay? So right here it says slavery or involuntary servitude is not allowed. Not allowed in the US. Unless, okay, as a punishment for a crime in which you have been duly convicted. Then it's allowed. So what does that mean? Well, basically, all of you guys out there, at one point or another, not only have you committed a crime, but you have been found guilty of a crime. And let me give you a quick little example. If you've ever gotten a speeding ticket or any kind of infraction ticket, for driving your car, guess what? If you have gone to court or you paid that ticket, actually, not to go to court thing because you might have not been convicted, okay? But let's just say that you pay that ticket, guess what? You are convicted of a crime. Therefore, now it is allowed for them to, make you a slave. Now, they're not going to make you a straight out slave, like back in the day. No, today, in today's world and nowadays, you are a debt slave, okay? And that's it. We all know this. We talked about this many times before. So like it says it right there, okay? Neither slave nor involuntary servitude is allowed, okay? Except as punishment for crime, okay, where you the party, okay, have been duly convicted. Okay, so if you've ever been in any situation where the fucking judge goes, and fucking beats his gavel, bonk, 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 it says, whatever, this is the conviction. You're guilty of, taking a red light. You're guilty of not stopping at a red stop. You're guilty of resisting arrest. Whatever the fuck it is that they make up or they fucking choose to convict you of, that's it. Done. You are now allowed to be a slave. And that's it. It's really not that hard to read. Why do we need to read an interpretation of this shit? It's in order to, again, muddle your mind, in order to dilute really what the fuck is going on. That's it. Let's look at Section 2. Congress shall have power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation. And that means that, again, all the laws passed across the land that would convict you, aka a traffic stop, aka whatever, jaywalking, is enough to allow, in order for this to happen. So, it's right there. It's right fucking there. And so, why am I bringing this up? Because a lot of people keep talking about, the whole Confederate flag situation, saying like, oh my God, the Confederate flag, the only thing that the Confederate flag means is, here, let me see, let's get the Confederate flag on screen. But yeah, basically, it's like people just say, oh, the only thing the Confederate flag means is that it is a representation of racism. It is a representation of slavery. It is a representation of all these things. But the reality is that the U.S. flag should be this is the flag, okay? That should be representing all that, because again, look at the 13th Amendment. That is in our Constitution, is it not? That is the law of the land, is it not? So again, when I see a lot of the Black Lives Matter, when I see a lot of the things that are going on right now, I'm like, oh boy. You know what I mean? And they're fucking tearing down all kinds of statues. They're doing all the things that they're doing. And it's like, man, this is not, you know what I mean? Why are people not, you know what I mean? Like studying history. We know why, okay? Because of the indoctrination of the whole system as a whole, okay? That, you know, when you're going to public school, you're just going to indoctrination camp. You know, you're only going to be, taught what they want you to know. So, oh, the birds out there chirping. Anyway, so going back to the Confederate flag real quick. Again, the Confederate flag was a flag of rebellion. South Carolina basically seceded from the Union legally. I'm not going to sit here and discuss it. You guys can do your own homework, okay? The South Carolina legally seceded from the Union. This was before Lincoln got elected, okay? Got inaugurated, okay? Once Lincoln got inaugurated, he declared that illegal, okay? And that was now his opinion, okay? Against the actual, what was in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights back in the day. So South Carolina had every right to secede. It's all part of being America. But Lincoln, with the Union troops said, oh, hell nah. I represent the federal government. I represent the Fed. I represent, the New World Order, which, again, for anyone out there, you know what I mean? Like, it was alive and kicking back then. Don't be getting it twisted. They said, no, no, we cannot allow this secession to happen. We cannot allow, the Union to break up under these conditions. In fact, we are now, we're telling Lincoln to not, not allow, what's the word I'm looking for? Lincoln then said, I am not going to, what's the word I'm looking for? Allow, but not allow. It's not allow. He's not going to, anyways. He wasn't going to recognize. Lincoln and the Union were not recognizing the secession. Therefore, by him not recognizing the secession, then all of a sudden, he had kind of like a legal loophole, which again, he didn't. He was all in the wrong and completely illegal in his actions. And that's when, he, baited, the South to attack, baited, and again, I'll give you the details in a second. Hold on. Baited, the South in order to attack and go through that whole situation, just like you're seeing right now with a lot of the things that are going on. And therefore brought it, to the point where the South, started gaining followers, gaining other states, to support South Carolina in the secession. And before you knew it, you actually had a civil war. And then the central bankers that were in charge of all this whole thing, they were very happy because again, they love war. They wanted for both sides to be, fighting against each other. And why were they fighting? Why did South Carolina secede? That's another thing that most people don't understand. People think it's like, oh, South Carolina just seceded because of slavery. That is not true. That is not true. You know what I mean? They seceded because of economic reasons. They seceded because the Union, the federal government, was again imposing their might. They were imposing themselves on the states, and all of a sudden throwing state rights out the window. And the states were not having that, and then so the states revolted and said no. You know what I mean? Like federal government is one thing and state government is another thing. We have jurisdiction in the state and you got jurisdiction in federal, but you cannot supersede, which you can't. You cannot, go over the state government. So there's a lot of things that went into play. Let me see if I can play this video here real quick. I got a lot of things going. Let me see. I got to close a few windows here. So real quick. Let me see. I think we're going to... Okay. Let me see if I can go through my history here real quick and see if I can remember and find that video, because I want to play a video real quick for you guys. I don't know if I'm going to be able to play it or not because of the sound issues I just realized. But at the very least, I want to kind of like bring it up real quick so you guys can watch this on your own time. Okay, but this guy right here, High Impact Vlogs, he's a great channel. A lot of cool information, a lot of cool whatever. But anyways, in this video, he details and he talks in detail about, what the hell was going on. Okay, so look, this is This is Lincoln talking. Okay, Lincoln. Okay. So let me see if you can read it. Let me see if you can hear it. Let me know if you guys can hear it. Okay, while I look at the chat.
Held in Charleston, South Carolina, the great man.
No, you're not gonna be able to hear that. This is terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Hold on a second. But, I'll play a little music for 1 second. Well, yeah, because I wanted to play this. Man, I'm sorry. I'm just like so ill-prepared today. This is like the worst. There's so many things. I haven't charged any of my things. So, because I wanted to play the sound for this stuff. Let me see. I think I'm going to be able to play it. Hold on a second. 1 second. Sorry. Thank you for your patience, guys. I appreciate you guys and your patience today as we try to get this going over here. Is this it? This is not it. Okay, so this has to be it. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm like plugging in all of these things. Oh my God. Worst stream online by far. All right, where? We got it. We got it. We got it. Okay, okay. So, because I wanted to play, I really want to play this for you guys, man. I'm sorry. I apologize for that little delay there. Because I want to see if you guys, let me know about the sound, okay? Hopefully you guys can hear it. I'm pretty sure you guys can. Now, you didn't even want to know the electrical mess I have over here. All right? Definitely a fire hazard. And me farting next to the fucking thing is not helping. Ready? Oh, wait, I gotta turn this on, don't I? Jesus. All right, hold on. Right? Okay, let's. I'm gonna play this, okay?
For example, at the 4th Lincoln-Douglas debate held in Charleston, South Carolina, the great emancipator said, "While I
This is Lincoln talking, okay? Verbatim. This is Lincoln.
was at a hotel."
Man, what language is that down there?
Emancipator said, "While I was at a hotel today, an elderly gentleman called upon me to know whether I was really in favor of producing a perfect equality between the Negroes and white people." Great laughter. While I had not proposed to myself on this occasion to say much on that subject, yet as the question was asked to me, I thought I would occupy perhaps 5 minutes in saying something in regard to it. I will say then that I am not, nor ever have been, in favor of bringing about in any way the social and political equality of the white and black races. That I am not, nor ever have been, in favor of making voters or jurors of Negroes, nor of qualifying them to hold office, nor to intermarry with white people. And I will say in addition to this that there is a physical difference between the white and black races which I believe will forever forbid the two races living together on terms of social and political equality. And inasmuch as they cannot so live, while they do remain together, there must be the position of superior and inferior. And I, as much as any other man, am in favor of having the superior position assigned to the white race. Guys, that's Abraham Lincoln saying that. And just to give us a glimpse into the mindset of his time, Lincoln continued, "I will add to this that I have never seen, to my knowledge, a man, woman, or child who is in favor of producing a perfect equality, social and political, between Negroes and white men." That's just how most people thought. And I'm sure Lincoln was in contact with a lot of people with the position that he had. So this was the prevailing mindset of not just the Confederates, not just people in the South, but also people in the North. On November 6, 1860, Abraham Lincoln became the 16th President of the United States. 44 days after the election, South Carolina seceded from the Union of the States on December 20th. This action brought into question whether the existing forts in South Carolina would be state or federal property. As a precaution, Major Robert Anderson of the Union Army abandoned Fort Moultrie on the shores of Charleston and took up a defense of Fort Sumter. The Union attempted to resupply Fort Sumter on January 9, 1861 with the ship Star of the West, but was fired upon by the cadets at the Citadel and returned unsuccessful. This prompted Mississippi, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, and Texas to secede within the following 3 weeks, and the Confederate States of America was formed. South Carolina repeatedly called for Fort Sumter to be evacuated, and Jefferson Davis sent delegates to Washington to offer to pay for the federal property on southern lands, pay for the southern part of the national debt, and negotiate a peaceful end. President Lincoln, though, was not willing to accept this because he was determined to not recognize secession as legal or that the Confederate States of America was a legitimate government. Throughout the war, he viewed them as rebellious insurgents, but never as a foreign country. Lincoln claimed that there was no right to secession, even though America was founded on a secessionist document known as the Declaration of Independence. James Madison and Thomas Jefferson authored resolutions for Kentucky and Virginia in 1798 that clearly support the founding philosophy of state sovereignty over the federal government. So, more than being a slavery issue, which Lincoln himself said he had no desire to abolish in his first inaugural address, when he said, "I have no purpose, directly or indirectly, to interfere with the institution of slavery in the states where it exists. I believe I have no lawful right to do so, and I have no inclination to do so." For Lincoln, it was more important that the Union stay intact, and if he had to start a war to enforce that belief, by God, he was going to do it. Lincoln knew all along that the people of the states have the right of secession. He himself stated on January 12, 1848, while criticizing President Polk over the way he was orchestrating the Mexican War, "Any people anywhere being inclined and having the power have the right to rise up and shake off the existing government and form a new one that suits them better. This is a most valuable, a most sacred right, a right which we hope and believe is to liberate the world. Nor is this right confined to cases in which the whole people of an existing government may choose to exercise it. Any portion of such people that can, may revolutionize and make their own of so much of the territory as they inhabit." Lincoln knew that he could not gain the Northern Americans' public support for a war with the South if the North appeared as the aggressor. On March 4, 1861, President Lincoln delivered his inauguration speech and claimed that the North would not invade the South without provocation. In doing this, there needs to be no bloodshed or violence, and there shall be none, unless it be forced upon the national authority. In other words, if you jeopardize my ideal of a centralized, federalized power, then there's definitely going to be bloodshed and violence. The power confided to me will be used to hold, occupy, and possess the property and places belonging to the government and to collect the duties and imposts. See, Lincoln didn't want to lose federal power or the extortion monies provided by taxation. But beyond what may be necessary for these objects, there will be no invasion, no using of force against or among the people anywhere, where hostility to the United States in any interior locality shall be so great and so universal as to prevent competent resident citizens from holding the federal offices. There will be no attempt to force obnoxious strangers among the people for that object. Lincoln needed that provocation to come from the South at all costs so that the Confederacy would be blamed for a war. The false flag of Fort Sumter was set in motion. On April 4th, Lincoln ordered a resupply expedition led by Gustavus V. Fox to be sent to Fort Sumter. Then Lincoln notified the Southern Governor Pickens to, quote, "expect an attempt will be made to supply Fort Sumter with provisions only, and that if such attempt be not resisted, no effort to throw in men, arms, or ammunition will be made without further notice, or in case of an attack upon the fort." Southern Governor Pickens and General Beauregard made repeated demands to the Union's Major Anderson to surrender and abandon the fort before the supply arrived, which he continued to refuse. The final demand came on April 11th, to which Anderson replied he would leave the fort by noon on April 15th unless he received orders from Lincoln or was resupplied. General Beauregard felt this response to be too conditional and unacceptable. They gave the fort a 1-hour notice and then began shelling, signaling the open shots of the Civil War. Confederate forces shelled Fort Sumter for 3.5 days before Northern Commander Major Robert Anderson surrendered. No one died on either side during the attack. Lincoln wrote this letter 2 weeks later. To Gustavus V. Fox, Captain G.V. Fox, Washington, D.C. My dear sir, May 1st, 1861. I sincerely regret that the failure of the late attempt to...
And so, by the way, guys, just I want to interrupt real quick, as you guys can see, you know what I mean? Like, even back then, you know what I mean? Not only were people very smart and intelligent and knew a lot of the things that were going on, but look at our own government, and look at the, things that were going on, very similar to what they were the things that are going on now. Like when we're seeing, we were seeing like the things, the riots start to happen in Minneapolis. They really didn't get like out of hand until the moment that the police stepped back and allowed everything to, take place, and so on and so forth. Like, we've seen, many times and are still seeing right now in the U.S. And so same thing goes with this. At the end of the day, when South Carolina seceded, the United States Army at that point had to leave Fort Sumter, and they didn't want to. They just wanted to stay there and stay there and stay there until eventually, the South did something about it. And then as soon as they did something about it, then, Lincoln's like, well, these guys, they didn't, they didn't fucking let us do our thing. So now, since they didn't let us do our thing, now we're just going to fucking, we have to attack. We have to go back. All right. I'm going to see if I can fast forward a little bit because I'm trying to see, well, how are you guys enjoying this? You guys enjoying this little bit of history here? Or do you guys want me to keep going on my rant? Because, I just found this very interesting. And so I don't know if you guys want to, continue listening to him talking about it, or you want to hear about this, you want to read this on your own later. But yeah, man, it's all talking about, this history. We need to know exactly what the hell happened. Let's fast forward a little bit. You guys can watch this on your own later, because this is very important, and you guys all need to. We need to know our history. If not, we're going to be doomed to repeat it. And guess what? We don't know our history, and we are repeating it. Okay, so
16th, 1861, that quote, the affair at Fort Sumter has been planned as a means by which the war feeling at the North should be intensified. The Jersey City American Standard said, this unarmed vessel was a mere decoy to draw the first fire from the people of the South, which act by the predetermination of the government is to be the pretext for letting loose the horrors of war.
And again, I just fast forward a little bit, but yeah, well, what he was saying, because I already watched this a couple times, especially last night. Basically he was just saying that nobody would. I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm just trying to stay on track here. But yeah, basically what he was saying, earlier, was the fact that nobody wanted this war. The North, the people in the North, the citizens, the people, they did not want the war. The people in the South did not want the war. Nobody wanted this war except for Lincoln and his cronies. And that's it. And this is all perfectly documented. This is just like the Cliff Notes version. That's why I always implore you guys to do your own research and your own homework.
They understood what Lincoln did. Another big misconception is that Lincoln freed the slaves and made slavery illegal. The Emancipation Proclamation only freed the slaves in the areas that were in rebellion as a military move, and the 13th Amendment made slavery legal for the federal government if a crime is committed.
Remember, we were just talking about the 13th Amendment. We brought it, we talked about it. Okay, we're going to bring it up again one last time, after this. But again, remember what we listened earlier in the same video, that Lincoln Lincoln did not want to end slavery. That's nothing at all. In fact, when he was asked, do you want to end slavery? Lincoln later basically literally said, no, I don't want to end slavery. Why would I want to end slavery? You know what I mean? So
Lincoln made several racist quotes throughout his life, maintaining that whites were superior to blacks, and he was also in favor of exporting the freed slaves to anywhere but America.
And by the way, that's Lincoln.
He said, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime, whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction.
That is the 13th Amendment as we just read it, okay? That is the 13th Amendment, okay? So again, we're all slaves, you know what I mean? Like, that's why they have 200 million laws in the books in the U.S. because everyone at some point has already everyone out there that is an American citizen, a U.S. citizen living in the U.S., you guys break hundreds of laws a day. You know what I mean? Tens of dozens of laws a day. You know what I mean? So it is only a matter of time before you get caught and convicted of any one of these insane laws. They could be as just jaywalking, for crying out loud. All right, as we discussed already.
I'm not condoning slavery or its institution on any level. It's just important to get the factual perspective of history correct.
Exactly.
So we don't repeat the same mistakes or think that tyrannical subversions of the Bill of Rights is ever justified. Lincoln is beloved by many in the world to this day.
By the way, in the chat, Jay Constant is saying if I believe in flat Earth. I'm not a flat earther, bro. I'm not a flat earther. Okay, like I don't know what any of that has to do with what we're talking about. But I just also wanted to throw it out there.
His presidency is another great example of the cult of personality and of history being written by the winners. Even though the large majority of Americans, North and South, believed in the right of secession as of 1861, upon taking office, Lincoln implemented a series of unconstitutional acts, including launching an invasion of the South without consulting Congress as required by law, declaring martial law, blockading southern ports, suspending the writ of habeas corpus for the duration of his administration, imprisoning without trial thousands of northern citizens, arresting and imprisoning newspaper publishers who were critical of him, censoring all telegraph communications, nationalizing the railroads, creating several new states without the consent of the citizens of those states, ordering federal troops to interfere with elections in the North by intimidating Democratic voters, deporting a member of Congress, Clement L. Vallandigham of Ohio, for criticizing the administration's income tax proposal at a Democratic Party rally, confiscating private property, confiscating firearms in violation of the Second Amendment, and effectively gutting the 9th and 10th Amendments to the Constitution, among other things. After the war broke out, Lincoln called a special session in Congress to explain his actions, including suspending habeas corpus. When he wrote this speech in reference to habeas corpus, he wrote that, quote, more rogues than honest men, practically more of the guilty than the innocent, find shelter under it. For the final speech, he revised it to say, quote, some single law made in such extreme tenderness of citizens' liberty that practically it relieves more of the guilty than the innocent should to a very limited extent be violated. Supreme Court Justice Robert B. Taney wrote an opinion that Lincoln didn't have the authority to suspend habeas corpus, and then Lincoln signed a warrant for his arrest, just like any tyrant would. Lincoln also illegally instituted the first income tax to fund the war. It was later repealed because it was and still is unconstitutional to collect income tax from individuals. Lincoln was also the first to use the military draft, which caused a bloody riot in New York in 1863. The draft is something we've all been led to believe is a patriotic servitude to the state when it stands in complete contradiction to one of our very grievances against King George in the Declaration of Independence. Part of that reads, he has constrained or conscripted our fellow citizens taken captive on the high seas to bear arms against their country, to become the executioners of their friends and brethren, or to fall themselves by their hands. Lincoln, by his words and actions, was clearly a tyrant set on establishing a federalized power. It's also argued that slavery could have ended much sooner had the southern states been left alone to secede.
That's right.
Under secession, if a slave escaped from a southern state, he could have been granted freedom when he went to another state. Under Lincoln.
And again, that goes to show you, again, even more than just his words, but his actions, that basically said that he had no interest in ending slavery at all. And in fact, he didn't end slavery. Remember, the 13th Amendment just made us all slaves.
Lincoln's federal governance, there would be nowhere to escape, since every state would be under one federal law. Lincoln even admitted as much during his first inaugural address, saying, "No person held to service or labor in one state under the laws thereof, escaping to another, shall in consequence of any law or regulation therein be discharged from such service or labor, but shall be delivered up on claim of the party to whom such labor or service may be due."
You guys got that, right? So basically, if you're an escaped slave, this is what he said, okay, in his inaugural speech. If you're an escaped slave and you move to and you go to another state, it doesn't mean that you're still not the slave where you were left at. So if they claim you, if they go get you, they have every right to go get you as their property and bring you back, okay, to their land. Which again, it goes even over maritime law, in which case that, if it was just maritime law, by the way, this is how you know that this is even extra fucked up, okay? Because if it just goes down to the maritime law, because I heard people talking about birth certificate and all that shit. Yeah, I'm all about that, and I know all about that too. So if it were just a maritime law, just him escaping the plantation and being a free vessel, okay, out and about, it doesn't allow the guy that owned him to claim him. In fact, anyone else can claim him, including himself. But that goes to show you, the level of, how they were fucking with blacks back then, which was, pretty obvious. We already knew. But again, he was not interested at all in fucking abolishing slavery or fucking helping, end that, or helping the black man or anything like that. And in fact, the contrary, the complete opposite. He was a banker. He wasn't a banker, okay? He was a lawyer like Obama. By the way, lots of similarities between him and Obama. There's a reason why they compared Obama to him back then when he was running. When he was president. But anyways, very much like Obama. Both lawyers. I think both constitutional lawyers, if I'm correct. I know Obama for sure. But the point being is the fact that this guy, if he is put on the $10 bill or whatever the fuck, and he's a hero and he's all these things. But yeah, he's a hero in the eyes of the federal government. But if you really look at what he's done, for America, he's not really a hero, is he? Okay, so yeah, and again, look at someone like Andrew Jackson, which actually was a hero. He actually killed the banks, defeated the banks. He instituted many things. Again, yeah, he wasn't perfect, but again, no one is. All right, not me, not you, not anybody. But Andrew Jackson, he is on a $20 bill. He's the one that got rid of the fucking federal bank back in the day. He's the one that, really helped our nation, become free from the bankers. And yet, they wanted to take him off the $20 bill. They all they do is call him a racist. They call him, the worst president ever and all these things. And then look at Mr. Lincoln. Probably more racist, probably way worse, depending on how you want to look at it and whatever. We're not really taking points here, but we can at least say almost as bad or equally as bad, I guess. I would argue that Lincoln is way worse than fucking than Andrew Jackson here, but this isn't a fucking presidential comparison here, all right? The point is that, at the end of the day, Lincoln sold us down the river. Lincoln did not work for the people. In fact, what Lincoln did is that he worked for the federal he worked for the bankers, the central bankers, okay? Which eventually, later on, back around 1913, is when they eventually instituted the Federal Reserve. But the bankers could not have been able to institute the Federal Reserve in 1913 if it wasn't by, the actions taken during the Civil War, after the Civil War, and beyond, okay? So, that's what we gotta look at history. We gotta remember, this was all like 1861 in the 1860s, and that was all, the Federal Reserve was 50 years later. Okay, and if you look at the discussions that were happening in this country back in the late 1890s, in the elections that were in the 1890s of that era, people were talking about, should we talk about, should we have a gold standard or a silver standard? They were very educated on all of these things, and they were actually discussing that. Okay, that was like the main topic of discussion in the presidential elections. But instead of talking about that, we were, talking about war. So again, just like today, in today's world, we should be talking the presidential debates. Everything should be talking about the economy, but we're not. We're talking about Black Lives Matter. We're talking about COVID. We're talking about, all of this bullshit. So again, back in the 1890s, we were, as a nation, talking about, monetary, a monetary system. We were talking about, monetary, whatever, gold, silver, you know what I mean? Like how we were gonna back our dollar, how we were gonna, move forward. What was the currency we were gonna use? Are we gonna start becoming an empire, or are we gonna just become a sovereign country? And around the 1890s, that's when we had the Spanish-American War, and we started imperialism, when we started, war against Cuba, and started warring against Latin America and beyond. Around then, in the early 1900s, all that time there, from the 1890s to the early 1900s, before 1890s, we were just America. And after 1900 plus, 1905 or whatever, all of a sudden we had things like the Philippines, we had, fucking, land all over Latin America. All of a sudden we just became an empire like that. You know what I mean? And then boom, Federal Reserve like that. It's like, bro, give me a fucking break. We took a very hard right turn. And how do we have that right turn? Well, by controlling the narrative, by controlling the newspapers, by controlling what was told and said to the people. So when people were really discussing things like, we don't want to be an imperialist nation because that goes up against everything we fought for, our forefathers fought for only 100 years ago. Okay? That was a discussion, but the people that were in power, and controlling the newspapers and all that shit, were saying, no, we should be talking about the war with Spain. And people are like, what do you mean the war with Spain? Yeah, because, we got attacked in Cuba. So we got to go and war against Spain and liberate the Cuban people. And people are like, what? Huh? What? And it goes on and on. One of the first false flags that we had, as a nation, we have many false flags, but a major false flag, one of the major ones that really got, the whole imperialist, thing going, with America was when we blew up our own ship in the Cuban harbor of Havana and blamed it on the Spanish. So we could go to war with Spain, so that we could defeat the Spanish Armada, so that we can fucking liberate Cuba and take over Cuba. I mean, liberate. And so on and so forth. And just look at the history, man. Don't take me and my fucking horse's word for it. Look at the history. But yeah, man, a lot of the things that are, that literally, everything was really literally put into motion back during the Civil War. And a lot of people, can argue as well. I'm not here just going up against the Union, and I'm not here defending the Confederate States of America either, because there's a lot of argument and a lot of proof out there that also has the Rothschilds, the bankers, the people that were in power, that also backed the secession from the South, and they also, encouraged the South to secede, and just like they encouraged, the Lincoln in the North to do their thing. So there's arguments on both sides, and if we know our history, we know that the bankers are always doing that. They're always, they're always supporting both sides, because this is from Rothschild himself. They don't give a fuck who runs these nations and who, who runs the world. As long as they print the money, that's all that fucking matters. Because the one that prints the money is the one that really fucking rules the world. And that's it. It's always been that way. Whoever controls the money, controls the power, controls it all. So again, that's why the Rothschilds has always said, it doesn't really fucking matter who the fuck runs these nations, runs the world, blah, blah, blah. These are just managers. We're the ones that really own this motherfucker, okay? We're the ones that print the money. We own this shit. They work for us. They're just district fucking managers at best, all right? So, I'm going to, go back to let this guy finish his thing. I think it was already over, but...
There's no doubt that Lincoln served to solidify a centralized, authoritarian, overbearing government that we have today. People idolize him for it. Leave your thoughts about this for the world, the Google Thought Police, and every authoritarian psychopath in the comments section below.
So look, guys, I really highly suggest you check this guy out. Again, I don't agree with everything anyone says, whether it's him or anyone else out there. So just, take that as a caveat. You got to make your own decisions. You got to listen to everybody, and you got to have conversations with people that you don't agree with, and so on and so forth. But regardless, he is on point on a lot of things, as you guys just saw in that video, okay? And you guys can, again, you know, if there's anyone out there that wants to argue this, let's argue it, let's talk about it, you know. You know, we got the chat going, you guys are all there, but at the same time, you know, also, you know, please, you know what I mean, like, do your own work and research and homework and reading and history and all that shit, and look at both sides, and look at, you know, what's really going on, and look at what happened before that, and so on and so on and so on. But the thing is that that's work. That's, you know, work that you're not getting paid for. That's work that, you know, people don't want to do. You know, if people out there don't even want to go do some exercise or eat right or fucking anything just as simple as that, how the fuck are we going to expect people to do all of this fucking homework, especially if they're not getting paid? The reality is that you are getting paid for investing your time in educating yourself on this, because if you don't know what the fuck is going on, then how the fuck are you going to know the true value of of things like silver, what gold are, what Bitcoin is, and so on and so forth? You got to educate yourself, you know what I mean? Like, you know, people got to look at this kind of education, you know, whether it's life education, you know, like when you learn from life hitting you over the head, or you're learning from things like this. This is school. This is school, okay? So if you are sacrificing time and money, okay, in order to go to school, then that is your payment towards this school of hard knocks, this school of real life, okay? So the time that you are spending listening to me, listening to these videos, reading, doing your own research, going down the rabbit hole and stuff like that, you're actually are getting paid for that, okay? Believe it or not. Because the knowledge and the education that you're getting from that is beyond invaluable. That's number one. But number two, you're going to be able to use that knowledge in order to, again, be able to survive this. So, you know, this video today, this live stream, as it says there's like how to get ready for the Civil War, and we are getting ready. You got to educate yourself. That's like number one. Number two, number three, number four, number five. Then we can keep going down the list, all right, of other things, okay? You know. And we're going to talk about that now. In fact, we're going to talk about that right now, depending on where you are. We're going to concentrate on the U.S., okay? For the time being, at the moment, okay? And then we're going to, you know, explore a little bit more. But, you know, it's all about knowledge, man. If you guys don't have fucking knowledge, then you're fucked. You know, that's the number one priority here, okay? Information. So anyways, check out High Impact Vlogs, okay? You know, for sure, man. You know, he definitely gets my fucking thumbs up, okay? All right? So now let's get to preparing, okay? Let's do some preparing real quick, okay? You know what? I think I'm just gonna have the 13th Amendment up, all right? Fuck it. All right? So that's what we'll do here. Okay, so how do you prepare? Number one, if you are in the U.S. right now, start figuring out an exit plan, okay? Now, listen, I'm American, you know, proud as fuck, okay? Even though my parents are Cuban, okay, and I'm, you know, I got Cuban blood in me and all that shit. I'm American, born and raised, dirty South, okay? The whole fucking thing, okay? So that's me. I'm American. So as I left America, you know what I mean, and I decided to live elsewhere, I felt like my parents felt when they had to leave Cuba, when they had to leave their country to live elsewhere. Sure, they loved America. Sure, America was great and awesome and all that stuff, but again, you know, they never wanted to leave their country. And that goes for anyone out there that had to forcefully leave their country. So right now, when I'm telling you guys, or you guys out there know that one of the only, if not the only solution for you to survive this is to escape the USA, you know, I'm not pretending and, you know, sitting here to pretend like it's easy. It was extremely hard for me, and it's extremely hard for most people, no matter how you feel about what we're talking about here and about what's going on. Because it's never easy, man. No matter how much you hate your country, it's still your country. You love your country. It's home. You know, there's so many things that go with it. And in my case, I don't hate my country. I love my country. It pains me. It hurts me. This is tough love. It pains me and hurts me that I have to talk about these things and that I have to educate people on these things and so on and so forth, because it's like, God damn, man. You know what I mean? It's just, it's heartbreaking. You know what I mean? Because, you know, it's heartbreaking to know that the country that you thought was free is not really free, and that everything you have been taught was a lie. But anyways, I digress. If you are in the U.S. at the moment, yeah, man, you know what I mean? Your number one priority is figuring out a way out. Now, if you cannot get out, then your number two priority is figuring out a way to hunker down and protect yourself and your family. How do you do that? Number one, it's not just about getting food and water and guns and supplies and all that shit. No. Because it doesn't matter. You can have all the silver in the world and all the gold in the world, and it's just you and your family, and you can have all the guns and all the security and all that shit in the world. But guess what? If you're out there all alone, you're a goner. No matter how much security, how much anything you got there, they're going to get there, they're going to get to you, and you're done. And they're going to take all your shit, and you'll be lucky to survive, okay? That's when the shit hits the fan. That's when the shit hits the fan, okay? And who's going to be doing that to you? It could be the people themselves, it could be the government, it could be a multitude of things, all right? So what is the best way to protect yourself? All right, if you have no choice or you do not want to leave the U.S., well, not just hunkering down, but community. That is the number one key element, the number one survival tool that everyone out there needs and no one talks about. Community. What does that mean? If you live already in a small town, area with that you know all your neighbors, you know all of the businesses, you know everybody, and you all take care of each other, you got community. If you live in a big city, there's no such thing as community, okay? So what is community? Well, it doesn't matter how they attack your community, you're all going to be able to survive. Because one of you guys can grow, another one is an electrician, another one knows how to fucking sniper, the other guy is a fucking plumber, this other guy knows how to grow shit, the other guy is a livestock, the other guy owns the general store, the other guy can build this, the other woman can do that, and you're all helping and fixing each other. And so all of a sudden, if Timmy across the street needs sugar, you're going to give him sugar. Because when you run out of whatever you run out of, Timmy is going to help you out or somebody else is going to help you out, and you all help each other out and you all survive together and you're all one big happy family. That's community. A lot of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. I have community here. That's why I feel so safe out here, because the shit already hit the fan out here and we're fine. You know what I mean? Community fucking, came out of nowhere. And not out of nowhere, living in a place like this or where you are, you know very well how community works, okay? So it's all about community, okay? And that's the number one thing that most people don't just have. So if all of a sudden you don't have community or you have no way to build community, then yeah, you really need to figure something out, okay? And right now it's getting more and more difficult to, leave the country. These are things that I've talked about many times on my channel. And I had many people leave my channel. Many people have, major discussions and fights with me and so many things with me just because, of these things that I'm talking about that are now coming true. When I would talk about, the real ID, what is the real ID? Years ago, they've been implementing this whole thing now where you got to get a special license now that's called a real ID. And that real ID, if you don't have your real ID, you're not even going to be able to go from state to state. And now as the whole COVID thing is taking place, as everything else is starting to take shape, oh yeah, you better believe that real ID is going to be coming into play. And they're not going to allow you to fucking even travel. I mean, they might not even let you travel within your own state if you don't got your special ID. And now that real ID might come with extra stuff. Some stuff that, Mr. Bill Gates might want to introduce. Or one of his cohorts or something like that. So get ready for that. That's number one. Number two, you already know that they're restricting travel. A lot of people keep asking me like, oh my God, the whole restriction of travel because people want to keep coming to Mexico and leaving and this and that. And I keep reminding people, listen, man, the restrictions aren't here. The restrictions are there. As long as you can get past the United States border, you're good to go. You're good to go. You might have to be self-quarantined in some other countries. But when it comes to like the U.S., for example, when it comes to like somewhere like Mexico, for example, there's no self-quarantining. You can just come in here and just, do business as usual. Sure, they are restricting the land border somewhat because, again, that's, the U.S. is, right up on that. So they, they kind of have to like work together. But, you can fly into here. You can take a ship, come into port. There's many things that you can do to still come into Mexico and many countries, okay? And most countries you don't even have to have the self-quarantining thing. So again, I know I went a little off topic there, but again, a lot of the restrictions, a lot of the tyranny is coming from the U.S. themselves, okay? So we got to keep I got to keep reminding people of that. You know what I mean? And that's where we are now. Well, now we are here. It is happening. There is no going back. We need to deal with what we're dealing with now. If you are not in the U.S., you're good. You're good. Because again, by the way, the main reason why I'm doing today's video is because I had a few friends that don't live in the U.S. anymore asking me and worried and like, oh my God, what do we do? Listen, if you already left the U.S., you're good. As long as you're not in China, as long as you're not in like, places that are, you know what I mean? Like, obviously no bueno, you're good to go. All right? But if you're in the U.S., man, certain parts you're going to be okay, but certain parts you're not going to be okay. Look, one of the places I thought you were going to be okay in the U.S. was Miami until the other day, where now I see them implementing even harder restrictions, and I see them even going more, losing their community aspect to their community, and now, going into like full totalitarian, dictatorship mode. So, oh, by the way, I want to give a shout out to Andreas Leafy. Andreas, by the way, I don't know, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your last name. Let me see. Leifke. I gotta start learning other languages if I want to be a world traveler. But Andreas, thank you very much for that 25 SCK. I don't even know what the hell SCK is, but thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And someone out there was saying, like, am I Cuban? Yeah, I'm Cuban. Soy cubano, bro. Yo vengo de Miami. Yo soy un cubanazo que tú ni sabes, bro. Aquí comiendo pan con bistec y helado, ¿cómo se llama? Y fucking batido de guayaba. Tremendo mango. Anyway, so yeah, bro, I'm Cuban as fuck, alright? So, but I'm American as fuck, bro. I'm very American, you know what I mean? I'm Cuban just because that's, my parents, my family is all Cuban, but I'm American, bro. I'm American, you know what I mean? Like, I bleed red, white, and blue. Again, I know the Civil War, and I know American history. I'm more than the typical fucking American born in the U.S., okay? So, I consider myself very American, wearing a fucking Slayer shirt, you know what I mean? So, ya tu sabes, you know what I mean? So, shout out to all my Latin American friends out there, all my fucking Puerto Rican friends, all my fucking Mexican friends, every single one of you guys out there, que hablan español, shout out to you, shout out to all my American friends, shout out to every single one of you guys listening to me and following me for wherever the hell you are right now. You guys are awesome. This is why I do what I do. I love you guys. You guys are the best. But yeah, man, you know what I mean? Like, now the time to prepare, the thing is, it's like the time to prepare is kind of like already past. If you haven't already noticed, okay? Because right now, let's just say that you're preparing for the worst and you're going to the supermarket, okay? Well, guess what? When you're going to the supermarket, they're already restricting how much toilet paper you can buy, how much meat you can buy, how much you can buy, and what you can buy as well. They're also restricting what you can buy. On top of that, now, the United States of America is looking just like communist Cuba, communist Russia, communist China, communist anything where, or Venezuela or whatever the fuck where, there's bread lines. There's people waiting in lines, people waiting in queues, okay, for my European friends out there. But, there's tons of people, everyone out there is waiting in queues, waiting in lines outside of any store, whether it's Home Depot, whether it's a supermarket, whether it's whatever it is, in order to just be allowed, the privilege to go to the store to purchase what you need to purchase. And they're forcing so many things down our throat, whether it's like, oh, we got to have a vaccine, which again, we don't even have a vaccine for any flu or cold virus. We don't have a cure for any one of these things. So all of a sudden we're going to have a cure like that. Okay. They're trying to shove that down our throat. They're trying to shove the fucking face mask down our throat. They're trying to shove, us waiting in line in order to just get basic necessities down our throat. They're trying to shove this fucking pandemic down our throat. They're trying to shove so many things down our throat. And there's a lot of you motherfuckers swallowing it out there. Now, most people that are watching and listening to my channel, you guys are not swallowing any of this shit. And you guys all know what the fuck is going on. But there's so many people. You know it. When you walk around, you see the zombies. The zombies are fucking everywhere. It's insane. And the zombies don't necessarily have to be wearing a face mask, okay? Most people wearing a face mask are zombies. But it doesn't mean that just because they're not wearing a face mask that they're not zombies either. You know that. The zombiness comes from the ideology and it comes from all of that shit. You know what I mean? It comes from the fact that, people just want to, impose their way. They don't want, people don't want to be wrong. People don't want to be questioned, and shit like that. So, man, there's a lot of fucking things going on. So, right now we're kind of like almost past that point of preparing for the worst. Right now you need to now prepare for the world that we're living in and prepare to go forward. So, in my case, I know that the world's not going to end. I know that this is not the end. I know we haven't even gotten started yet. I've already anticipated this many moons ago, henceforth why I decided to move out to a foreign country and start making my home elsewhere. I still go back to the US, but now under these conditions, I ask myself, do I want to go back, and do I feel safe going back, and so on and so forth. But at the very least, I've already have my, situation out here. And that's what I've been recommending to a lot of people for a very long time, to start figuring that out. Start figuring out a way out. Okay? And it's not just leaving, but you got to start figuring out how you're going to provide yourself income. So, right now you need to start figuring out how you're going to work online. There's a million things that you can do to work online. During this whole quarantine, you should be figuring out how to reinvent yourself, okay? How to do what you love to do. Like you see me doing what I love to do. You guys should be doing the same. You guys should be using all of this time that has been given to you and all of this money that is going to start landing in your lap to, make the future you want to make for yourself. Okay? The whole world is not going to disappear. The United States is not going to disappear. The United States is going to be in turmoil for a very long time. Parts of Europe are going to be in turmoil for a very long time. Parts of the world are going to be in turmoil for a very long time, but other parts are not. So it's all about finding those places. And again, even if, let's say turmoil breaks out here in Mexico, it's not going to be to the magnitude as what's going to happen in the US. So I still feel safe enough out here. You feel me? And it's all about riding the hurricane, riding the storm, and preparing yourself mentally. Preparing yourself with the proper tools of knowledge of things like not holding dollars, but holding things like silver or Bitcoin or whatever. Understanding why you need these things, understanding why you need to protect yourself and live in a place where you can protect yourself, and so on and so forth. Again, going back to the education aspect of all this. Okay, right now that is how you prepare. That is how you start preparing. Again, if you have the luxury or the ability to leave. If you don't, then you got to hunker down. But you got to know exactly how to hunker down. Again, community is number one priority that you need to set up. Either you start your own community, or you join a community, or whatever. But community has to be a major part of your move. Move going forward. Okay. But remember, we are already living in this world now. So now, what are we going to do? How are we going to survive this? What is going to happen moving forward? How are we going to deal with this? And so, the dealing with it is the fact that right now we are descending into chaos. Okay, we already know in a sense what is going to happen. Okay, so if we've already made the decision, I'm talking to you guys out there. If you have already made the decision that you are not going to participate on protecting the right or protecting the left, you're not going to participate in this show. You're not going to participate in supporting Trump or supporting Black Lives Matter, supporting anything except yourself. If you've already made that decision that you're only going to be supporting yourself and your family, and you are not going to be following any of these stupid ideologies, any of these stupid things, then that is already a move in the right direction. Okay? So again, it's all about education. The only way you can make that move is by educating yourself to the point where you are, you feel comfortable enough to believe in yourself and believe in your own knowledge and education that you've acquired so far, and break away from the government teat, break away from these, from these institutions, okay, that have only hindered us and handicapped us to the point where we can't live without them. Now, I've been living off the grid, and I've been living, out of the system for a very long time. So I've already know how to survive. But that's why now they have incentivized me very, very, very much in order to get back on the grid. And you know, again, since I already know where all this is going, I'm on the grid. I ain't got no problem. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to, like Edward Snowden says, the minute you start hiding your shit, that's the minute they start coming after you and looking for you, because all they want to know is, like, what are you hiding? But if you're not hiding anything, like I don't hide anything, then, well, it's all there. You know what I mean? So good luck. That's why another thing I encourage you guys to do. Okay? Don't be trying to hide. Don't be trying to get off the grid. No. Just act smart, okay? Be smart, okay? You know exactly what to do. And if you don't know what to do, then you guys need to research that, okay? Like, what do I mean by making smart moves, okay? And it's not about lying or anything like that. No, it's the contrary. It's basically just saying exactly what you're saying, but using the same tools that they use against you, against them. Like language. You know, as long as you, as long as you educate yourself to the point where you can use language and words in order to describe yourself with their same words and language to the point where you got your hands clean, well, then you're good to go. But those same words can also incriminate you, okay? So it's all about education, again, all right? If you know how these, again, just like reading the 13th Amendment, do you know how many motherfuckers out there read this thing and they misinterpret it because they don't want to understand it the way that it's read, the way that it says it there. They want to understand it the way they want to understand it. The way if they go into if there's people out there, plenty of people out there that are always go into anything with their pre-convictions and their, their ideologies on XYZ, and then when they go to, read something, or write something, they use that bias in order to, what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry. In order to fucking, not decipher, in order to translate the text, translate the words. If you read this, okay, in law, if you read this in legalese, okay, legalese is also a language. Legalese. That is the language of laws. That is the language of the courts. That is the language in which they always get you and convict you of crimes that most of you never even fucking committed. Okay? That's why you gotta plead the fifth and shut the fuck up and ask for your fucking lawyer, and that's it. You know what I mean? The more you talk, the more you lose. And it's the same thing. It's all because it all goes to language. Okay? And that's it. And most people just do not, they don't even want to entertain the thought that there is another secret language that is right in front of your face called legalese that is what is really used in order to fuck you. Okay? Because people don't want to learn legalese. Okay? But that's all this is. But at the end of the day, if you read this, correctly, then you know exactly what this means. Let's go through the 13th Amendment one more time. Section 1 of the 13th Amendment. And again, I love how at the bottom it says, read interpretation of 13th Amendment down here. It's like, why do we need an interpretation of this? If you cannot interpret this on your own, then, I mean, fuck, bro. You know what I mean? Like, go back to fucking English class, man. Jesus. Anyways, 13th Amendment, abolition of slavery. Section 1. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, okay, except as punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. Now, let's talk about this real quick. If you are writing this law in English, this is a run-on sentence. This is a run-on sentence with so many grammatical errors that it does not make any sense. So, what did they do? A long time ago, they created this thing called legalese, in which they can create a language in which, by them using this other language, they can write things like laws and legislation in order to write something that would confuse the reader unless they understand legalese themselves. Okay? So how this should read in English, okay? How this should read in English is slavery this is how it should read in English. Slavery and involuntary servitude are illegal and banned across the United States of America unless you are committed of a crime, and because of that conviction, you get punishment, and that punishment is involuntary servitude or slavery. That again, somewhere along the lines of that is how it should read. Again, slavery and involuntary servitude are banned in the U.S. unless you are convicted of a crime, in which case then slavery and involuntary servitude can be, served as punishment for your conviction of said crime. And again, it doesn't specify what crime, just says crime. So, but how do they write it? They write it with legalese. And how do they write it? Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted. Again, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude. Period. That's not a sentence. Okay? But again, that is a sentence. Again, slavery or involuntary servitude, not allowed. That's how it should read. Slavery and involuntary servitude are not allowed unless it is for punishment of a crime in which you, the party, have been duly convicted of. Okay? So that's really how that's how it should read. But you see how they use these words? Okay? You see how they fucking twist it by creating another language called legalese with the same words as the English language, but they use a completely different grammatical scale. They use a completely different way to scale the sentences and the words and the language in order to get what they want. So again, ever since 1865, slavery has been legal within the United States of America. And yet we've been thinking that it's been illegal. How about them apples, huh? Oh wait, sorry.
Bruh.
Wrong sound effect there. So, I mean, yeah, man. You know what I mean? Like, how long have I been talking already? Jesus. Let me see here. An hour and a half. I've been going off on that. So, you know what? I'm going to read some comments real quick. I'm going to see what you guys have to say about this before I continue any further, okay? I know I've talked a lot, and I know you guys probably have a lot to say as well. Or not, maybe not. There's a lot of people watching today. Shout out to all of you guys. Thank you for joining me. Been a great show so far. But, yeah. The 13th Amendment, guys. Oh, man, I don't like Mega Man 5, bro. This is terrible. Get the fuck out of here. Go back to fucking Mega Man 2. But anyways, yeah, let me see. I'm looking at the chat. Anyone have any questions, any comments? I've been going on for an hour and a half non-stop. I gotta do some breathing. I gotta breathe a little bit. How long does it take to get citizenship in Mexico? Minimum, I think like 5 to 6 years. Because it's a rough estimate. It varies to person, but the quickest is 4 years. The realistic is more like 5 to 6 years, and that could be a little longer to get full citizenship. But again, there's a path. You know what I mean? And there's many ways. You got to come in first as some sort of tourist. Then you get a temporary residency, then a permanent residency, and then eventually citizenship. For Mexico. Anyway, shout out to everybody out there. Shout out to Marlon, Pedro, Alemao, Hygienic Option, Pedro, Elko, Astere Rap, Nano Joe. Got Pedro up in there, Cody, Steve. Awesome, Steve. Yeah, Steve says, Karen told us to wear a mask in the park yesterday. Thought of you and laughed. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Oh yeah, that's a great point that you make there, Pedro. You know, it's like he says, read Black's Law Dictionary, preferably an older version to see how well the English language has been weaponized. Fuck yeah, bro. Exactly, man. And again, you know, remember, Lincoln, you know, same as Lincoln, same as Obama, were both constitutional lawyers. And if you look at their records, you know, just like we saw Lincoln and we know about Obama, they have, you know, literally decimated, you know, the United States, you know, the law. You know what I mean? Like the law of the land. You know what I mean? They decimated our country. So, yeah, you know, it's like, it just says a lot. One second, guys. Anyways, shout out to everybody out there, guys. I fucking love you guys to death, man. Every single week we get more and more viewers, you know, to the live stream, and I really appreciate that. Because I fucking love doing these live streams. You know, they're fun as fuck. You know, sometimes they're a little hard, you know, for me to, you know, after a long day of work at night, you know, getting up in the morning and getting ready to you know, have these conversations. But, you know, the reality is that, you know, as soon as I turn this thing on and I'm chatting with you guys and just talking or whatever, it's very, very easy for me to do these, and I really enjoy them. And I'm glad that you guys are here and that we get to, you know, hang out together. And you know, the only thing that kind of pains me is, like, I want to make more and more content, but it's actually harder and harder every day because, you know, I got more and more of you guys, you know, hitting me up for help on how to get out of there, you know, how to get out of the U.S. or how, you know, how to get over here or whatever, you know what I mean? And so now it's like, because of what I do here online, now as soon as I get offline, I got emails to answer, messages to answer. I'm constantly busy. By the way, for anyone out there, you know what I mean, that, you know, I help all kinds of people with all kinds of things, but sometimes, you know, it takes me a while to answer you guys. It's not because I don't want to, it's because I'm busy, and I'm very busy, and sometimes, like, you know, I just have to, like, put your notification to the side so that I can answer and work with, you know, what I'm working with at the moment and the people I'm working with, and then eventually, you know, I see your, you know, I go back later on when I'm revisiting all my stuff, you know, my Instagram, my WhatsApp, you know, my emails, my everything, and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to answer this, oh, I forgot to do this, I forgot to do that. And so, yeah, every single day now, it just keeps, you know, getting more intense, and I love it. I mean, to me, it's great and awesome, but, you know, just want to let you guys know, FYI, you know what I mean, like, if every day that passes, it's a little harder for me to respond to you right away, or sometimes it keeps taking longer and longer for me to respond. It's because I'm busier, man. You know, sometimes you'll catch me right away, and you'll have a conversation with me and all that stuff. But, you know, sometimes, man, I don't have the time. You know what I mean? And so, you know, it is what it is, guys. You know what I mean? No doubt. You know, but I know you guys understand. But I just wanted to throw it out there just in case, you know, some of you guys still did not know. But let me see. Marlon is coming to Merida. Be prepared. That's right, bro. Are you one of the guys that is talking to me or not? I mean, I don't know, man, because there's so many people. You guys have different names online, and then a different email name, and then a different real name, and, you know, there's so many of you guys out there. So, you know, you don't have to tell me who you are, but I mean, as long as it's like, am I already talking to you, not talking to you, or are you coming here on your own? But whatever, Marlon. Regardless, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing you once you're out here, bro. You and everybody else, man. Oh, thank you, Pedro, for the information in the chat. You know, letting people know about, you know, answering the questions that people are having in there. Thank you. That's right, Ramblin' Jose. The rambling man out here. Well, I mean, if you email Christian, she's not going to understand it as well. So she's just going to forward it to me, the employee. Actually, the real boss is Lambo. Alright? That's the real boss, alright? I know you guys don't want to hear that shit, but the real boss is fucking Lambo. He's the one that runs this whole fucking operation, alright? Oh yeah, see, look, Loretta, you know, well, you know, you've already kind of put it out there, but yeah, you know, Loretta is, you know, definitely someone I helped out here. There's a lot of you guys out there probably watching that I've helped you out already, or I'm in the process of, or, you know, going to be helping in the future. But yes, Loretta is definitely a satisfied customer, all right? Her and her husband, all right, guys, all right? Bruh. Fucking dirty motherfuckers out there, Jesus. Anyways, but let's see, what are we going to talk about? Let's, you know what, let's go through the news a little bit. Might as well. We went hard in the paint today. We went fucking hard in the fucking paint. By the way, I used to remember when Zero Hedge used to actually give good news. Now Zero Hedge is just as good as fucking like CNN or CNBC or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? So you guys still believing in the coronavirus or what? You know what I mean? How much longer till we, how much longer are we going to be playing this fucking game out there, huh, guys? Yeah, fuck yeah. In the future, I'm going to see if I can make a video with Loretta and her husband in the new home, and I'm going to put that on the other channel, and I'm going to be putting a bunch of videos on the other channel talking about real estate and talking about and looking at houses and looking at prices, and you can have a little bit more of an idea. And so you guys can, because I get so many questions on that, so I want to just have some videos up there for reference for you guys, so that you guys can have, and I can also point out to you guys so you guys can watch and see what is available out here for the different price ranges and all that stuff, okay? So, for sure. Annie, if you need to contact me, and this goes for everybody out there, I need you to email me and contact me, okay? All the information is down below, okay? I don't call anybody, I don't message anybody. I very, very rarely do that. If you need to contact me below. I have too much going on, too many people I'm dealing with all the time, and again, please, I need you to contact me if you need any kind of anything, and we can go from there, okay? Depending on what you need, if I just might be able to answer a few questions for free. You can ask me questions on live streams, in the comments of videos and all that stuff, and I can help you there for free. Or, you know, you can also hire me $25 an hour for consultation. You know, we can do Zoom calls, we can do video calls, you know, not just Zoom, you know, Skype, whatever. You know, we can talk on the phone. You know, we can do all kinds of things that can help you guys, you know, and moving out here and talking about how to set up a Bitcoin wallet, you know, how to, you know, get the proper home, you know, talk to realtors, you know, be a broker type person, and so on and so forth. Translation services and beyond, okay? And I'm going to see if I can make a video talking about all that and then some, so that you guys can have for reference as well, so you guys know more about what I do coming out of my mouth, you know, and all that stuff. But again, please, if you want to reach out to me, you know where to reach out. I have all the links below. I have like a million links to a million ways to reach out to me. Email is the best way, okay? So please, check it out below, all right? And don't be, by the way, everyone out there, don't be leaving in the comments an email or a phone number or anything like that, because I'm not gonna call you or email you. You need to do that, okay? You need to do that. If you guys cannot even send me an email or a message, then I mean, no, man, I'm not gonna be, you know what I mean? If you want me to hold your hand to do certain things, you gotta pay me for that, okay? Otherwise, I can help you for free. You know, I can help tons of people for free, okay? With all kinds of shit. Even the people that pay me, I still help them for free, okay? But you know what I mean? Like, no, man, if you guys can't even take the initiative of reaching out to me, then, I mean, come on, you know, please, you got to respect, you know, back and forth, all right? I respect your time, you got to respect my time, and vice versa. I love you guys and all that shit, okay? But please, I need you to reach out to me, okay? All right? And then we can go from there and discuss, because everybody has a different scenario. Everybody has a different, you know, private everything. You need to reach out to me, and that's how it works, guys, please, all right? And that's it, you know what I mean? It's not, you know. I want to help you guys, all right? Please, all right? But you got to help me help you, all right? That's number one. And again, don't leave for everybody out there, don't leave your phone number, your email, your anything in a comment in the video, because all that does is open you up for spam. You know, because the spam bots, you know what I mean, and all the spam everything are gonna, all they do is sift through comments, and if they see an email, they see a phone number, they see anything, bam, you know, they're gonna get you. And you already know you don't want spam, so don't do those things, okay? And again, guys, you know what I mean? Like, I help everybody. I help plenty of people with no money, all right, for free, okay? But again, you know, there's limits to everything. I'm only human, all right? And don't blame me, blame my boss, the fucking horse, okay? It's a horse, all right? He's the one that keeps the tight ship around here. But most of you guys already know, I am an open book. All right, you guys reach out to me. I always talk to you guys, answer questions and all kinds of stuff, okay? And that's it. If you guys want me to answer a multitude of questions and help you guys with a lot of things all at once, then it's going to cost you. But if you guys space it out and ask a question, you know, every couple days, leave comments, you know, help me out, you know, by, you know, deciphering it, I don't know, talk in the community, ask other people, you know, and I see that there's a concerted effort, you know, to get, you know, try to figure it out, and you might have a budget or your whatever, then I'm gonna help you, man. I'm not a heartless piece of shit, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a real nice guy, and I want to help everybody, but, you know, it's just the reality of it. And you know, it's not personal, it's business, all right? I love everyone and I want to help everyone. That's why I continuously make these videos, do these live streams, encourage you guys to ask me questions, encourage you guys to join the community, encourage you guys to, you know what I mean, to do it. But you have to do it, all right? I cannot make you lose weight. You got to do it yourself. All I can do is show you how and help you, you know, with certain things, but that's it. You got to do that work, okay? And what's that noise? What was that noise? I have no idea what that sound was. I think I pushed the wrong button on this thing here. I'm still recording, right? Yeah, still recording. All right, well, whatever that. I think it was my own computer saying, "Hey, wrap it up, bro. Shut the fuck up. Wrap it up." Oh, Alemao. Yes, I've done that. So Alemao saying is like, you know, to make real estate appointments, go out. Yeah, I've actually done that, you know, and I do that. And I have a bunch. Here, I'll show you guys. Here, I'll show you a little bit so you guys can see. I have right here, let me see. Where is it? So I got some videos here, and I'm acquiring more, and I got more to film, and so on and so forth. So yeah, and wherever I can, I take my camera, I film the home, and I'm in the process now of editing some videos to show you guys some homes and show you guys some things. So here, I'll show you. This is the last one that I did. I'll show you this real quick, okay?
Okay, so here is the home from the outside. I'm going to give you a quick 360 of the neighborhood. Okay? I'll discuss a little bit more in a bit. Okay? So this is the actual house right here. Alright, so we're going to just check.
Alright, so you go to the house, alright, check out the house, give you a little tour, do videos. But again, you know, I need to edit these and talk a little more, you know, whatever. I gotta make proper videos, you know, and all that stuff. But it's in the process. I'm working on it, okay? It's just like I said, I got a million things going on. But you guys already know I'm always, you know, juggling a bunch of things and trying to do a bunch of things. But I always come through, and I'm, you know, sometimes a little late to the party. Sometimes I'm very early, but I'm always at the party. All right, guys. So no worries. I'm working on it. So my website is josearteaga.com. Again, guys, all the links are down below. Okay, please, you know, check out the links down below, meaning go into the description of every video and you have links. But just go to josearteaga.com and you can find everything there. Here it is. Look, josearteaga.com, okay? And that's it. You know, all the information's there. You know, where you can find me, you know, all the ways you can contact me, and so on and so forth, okay? And again, once I'm done here, I got emails to answer, I got messages to answer, I gotta go, you know, meet with the client, I gotta go collect the payment, I gotta, you know, I'm doing a million things at once. And, you know, I used to do videos every single day and then some, but, you know, unfortunately, it's a little harder for me to to do videos on a regular basis only because I'm so busy, you know, helping you guys out. But at the same time, my channel is getting a lot of views. You know, you guys are watching a lot of my older videos, whether it's a Mexico content, whether it's educational content, it doesn't matter. And so many of you guys are actually contacting me, not just to move out here, but to help you guys with Bitcoin, or ask me about silver, or ask me about whatever. And sometimes, listen guys, you know, a lot of you guys already know this. You know, I'm not expensive. You know, sometimes all you need to do is just offer, hey, I'll buy you a beer, I'll buy you some tacos, so we can talk about XYZ. Yeah, no problem. That's great. We'll do that. You know what I mean? But just make an attempt, you know, to at the very least be cordial. You know what I mean? You're like, hey, Jose, how's it going? I got a question for you. Yeah, no problem. You know what I mean? That's it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, just I don't expect much. I don't expect anything from anyone, actually. All right, I learned that the hard way. I don't expect anything from anyone. But I do all the things that I do because I want to do these things. I love to do these things. But, you know, that's it. You know what I mean? If I like you a lot, guess what? You're probably not going to get charged. You know, the more I charge, the more I don't like you. But again, that's not right. That is not right. I charge for my fucking time. I just charge for my time. But I mean, basically, once I charge, you know, once we're done working together, I mean, again, a lot of you guys know we end up being friends. You end up having communication with me, and so on and so forth, okay? And that's it, all right? Every once in a while, I'll have somebody that reaches out to me as a client, but they also happen to be a Bernie bro or Antifa or this or that, and, you know, the whole communication just breaks off on its own, okay? That's it. But most people out here that reach out to me personally, you guys already know who I am and what I'm all about because you guys watch my videos, watch my content. And so when we're working together, it's perfect. You know, it's like we've already known each other for a long time. And after we're done working together, we remain friends and we remain in contact because, again, at that point, we're already friends, and anyone at any point can just contact me and say, hey, Jose, like a friend, and ask me about anything or help with anything. Like, again, I got plenty of ex-clients, you know, they don't pay me anymore because that's it, we're done. But at any time, you know, like Loretta, you know, she can fucking contact me and call me about anything. And I help her with whatever she needs. And that's all part of the whole thing, you know what I mean? Like, that's it, you know what I mean? Like, once we establish, like, a friendship, once we establish the whole thing, it's it. Why the fuck am I going to charge you just to ask a question? Like, hey, I got a thing with the light bill. Can you help me with this? Or do you think you can blah, blah, blah? And that's it. Why am I going to charge for something that's going to take 10 minutes of my time and I'm helping you out with? You know, there's going to come a time where I'm going to fucking ask you for a cup of sugar, you know, or whatever, you know? Yeah, this stream is always up. Every live stream that I do is always up after this, okay? And right now, Annie, if you have any questions that you want to ask or anything like that, you have me here for a little bit of time. You might as well just ask me. You know what I mean? No, I don't slow down, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I'm Cuban and I'm American, you know, so there's no slow in my life. You know, I'm here to live my life. And that's how I like to live it. And yes, there's Oxos everywhere. Oxos are all over the place. I'm confused about a lot of the questions you're asking me, Annie. You know, I feel like you've never seen YouTube before or something. I mean, and if that's the case, I can help you with that too, okay? I feel like you've never interacted with YouTube before or something. Oh, Alemao, you're correct. A lot of houses are in that $50,000 US price range. So, you know, $50,000 and you can get yourself a nice, quaint little home. So yeah, that's about the price. $50,000 on the low end, $100,000 on the very high end. But, you know, obviously they go as high as $200,000 and above and beyond, all right? But, you know, by that point, it's expensive as hell. I mean, you know, I mean, you're getting huge properties. You know, I know properties out here that are like $1 million, but when you look at that property, like, oh shit, this is like a fucking, you know, a compound. This is like a factory and then some. And that's what you're paying for $1 million. You know, back home, that same property is like 20 million. You know what I mean? I love you too, Annie. I love all of you guys, by the way. All of you. All right? Even my haters, I love. I love all of you guys. But I know I go off on my rants, and I'm always just, you know, going off from topic to topic and all kinds of shit. But I'm really glad that, you know, the early part of the show was, really good. I was able to talk about some really good topics. I really hope I helped you guys as best I could in how to prepare for what's coming. The reality is, again, like I was saying earlier, the best way to really prepare for what's coming is education and knowledge, and then starting to take the proper steps. Like literally, instead of preparing, start taking action. You need to start taking action. That is the main thing. It's education, and once you educate yourself, start taking action. That's it. Stop waiting for something to happen, or stop waiting for the proper time and the right time. Oh, that's already passed. We're way beyond that. Now is the time for action. Now is the time to get to work. Now is the time to start putting that plan into action, into work, and so on and so forth. All right. Oh yeah, those are all great areas, Alemão, for sure. I'm helping someone move into La Ermita. You know what I mean? El Centro is one of my favorite. San Sebastian's a great neighborhood. There's a lot of great neighborhoods, man. But anyways, all right, we're going to wind this puppy down, all right? We're going to cut this off at around 2 hours, okay? So we have around 11 minutes, 10 minutes. We got around 10 minutes or 15 minutes tops to, have you guys just do question and answer session, all right? So if you guys have any questions, any comments, anything, now is the time. I'm here, all right? I'm not queer, but whatever. Get used to it, okay? But yeah, Mexico, I mean, Merida is a great city. This whole area is awesome. Mexico is awesome. Mexico's awesome. Merida in particular is awesome. But yeah, man, we're starting to see the very beginnings of a civil war, of a race war, but just of some sort of major conflict within U.S. borders. The people are if you don't already see the people fighting against each other, if you were not already seeing people fighting against each other, throughout, before 2020 started. Remember, before 2020 even started, we already were, having, like Antifa, going up against, Trump supporters. We were already seeing the feminist movement, Black Lives Matter. We were seeing so many things. Now that this is an election year and so many other things, were taking place, like the economy. Look how they've crashed the economy, brought in coronavirus, brought in, the whole Black Lives Matter thing again, all these riots, all this turmoil. Now we're going to ban the police. Look, another thing about the whole ban the police thing, I should have said this way earlier, man. I kind of messed up, but with the whole ban the police thing, but damn it, Lambo, was that you? Anyways, sorry about that noise. But anyways, but the whole thing with the ban the police thing, basically what they're trying to do, the agenda, the NWO agenda, what they're trying to do with that is that what they want to do is that they want to ban the police, get rid of police forces, meaning they want to get rid of your local police force. They want to get rid of your state police. They want to get rid of all of your local, state, police municipalities, and they want to replace it with a national police. Okay, they want to replace it with national enforcement, national police, national guards in a sense. Okay, and these guys are going to be now they're going to be enforcing the laws of the land. And so again, back to the Civil War, they are now infringing on the states, and they are not allowing the states to be sovereign anymore. And so if they get rid of the police and then replace it with a national police force, well, there you go. That's even more totalitarianism. That's even more dictatorship type shit. And it's not a good thing, man. That is not what you want. You want the police to be part of your community. You want this whole, you want to have good cops. You want to have the whole thing working together in unison. Not, have a police force, that is detached from the community. A police force that is a national police force, a government entity that is only there to, protect the government and protect the government laws and protect, government interest and protect corporations and not to protect you. And again, if you haven't already noticed and seen that, well, that's what's going to happen, only times 100. And the excuse and the reasoning for them getting rid of the police right now is because they're not doing that. But do you think that the national police is going to all of a sudden do these things? No, they're going to sell it to you like they sell everything to you guys, that it's going to be a better, more improved version, but you already know it's not. So I think, as far as I know, everything in Quintana Roo, which is, things like Riviera Maya and Cancun, that's a completely different area to the Yucatan where I live right now. Where I live right now, I think that the beaches are still closed in Progreso and certain things are still closed. And then I think over there in Cancun is starting to open up, but I'm not quite sure because I don't live there and I don't cover that area. But as far as I know, I think that Cancun, in that area around Cancun, is the only place that's kind of like open. Everything else is still kind of closed in that area. And here, same thing. You know what I mean? I think the beaches, I'm pretty sure, 95% sure that the beaches are still closed out here, unless you go to like some private area, private property type beach, in which case you'll be fine. But the public beaches and things like that are, as far as I know, they're closed to the public here. But Cancun is right. Okay, Annie, again, no worries. Look, Annie, what I suggest you do is look at some of my content, maybe re-watch this video, look at my channel, look at all the things I have to offer for free. And then you can reach out to me, okay, with whatever you need, and then we can go from there. What you can do is, look, basically it's like this. Send me an email with what you need. Okay, if I feel that I can answer it for free by just, dedicating a few minutes of my time to helping you out, then that's it. Now, if it's something more complicated that I know that's going to take more of my time, then we will set up a payment arrangement. You might just have to pay me $25 and that's it. You know what I mean? Some people pay me a little more because I work with them a lot more. And it all really just depends, okay? Some people don't pay me at all, okay? It really just depends on a lot of things. So, yeah, like I said, check out my videos and check all that stuff out. But if you want some immediate answers and you need some immediate help, send me an email and we can go from there, okay? And that goes for everybody, okay? Everybody out there. How about the earthquake? I don't know. The earthquake happened in another part of Mexico, okay? Like, let's just say I live in Miami and the earthquake happened in Kentucky. Far. I don't feel it, I don't see it, I don't nothing, all right? So, I mean, I think that's about it. I don't know anything else. We got a few more minutes here. Talking about earthquakes. Talking about hurricanes. Yeah, but Cancun from here is like a 4-hour drive. I wouldn't drive 4 hours to go to the beach. You know what I mean? I would just, if you're gonna come out here to visit, vacation, then just go straight to Cancun. If that's all you want to do is go to the beach. But look, here's some of the expat services I offer, right, for anyone out there that's interested. All right. St. John Baptist Day? I don't even know what. Is it like a religion or something? No. I'm not good with holidays. I'm not good with any of that shit. So happy holiday, I guess, right? Today's Hump Day for me, right? So happy Hump Day, all right? Happy Hump Day to everybody out there. Oh, Annie, great question. That's a great question. I'm glad you answered that. I'm glad you asked that, especially here in this public forum, so that I can answer that. Okay, so as far as I know, this is just me, dumb American living out here and all that shit. I can ask Christian real quick, but I don't think she might know the answer here, but I think that this is the answer. The answer is no. Okay? Because even though it is legally recognized in the U.S., I sincerely doubt that it is legally recognized here in Mexico. Hold on, let me, Christian. No, she's busy. She's on with her headphones on. Sorry. So yeah, I'll send me an email, and if you really want, I can ask her. But again, asking her is just like asking a citizen out here. That's something that you might want to do a little research on. Again, if you want me to do research on that, that's something that is gonna probably cost because it's gonna take time. But the reality is that, like, honestly, if I were a betting man, I would bet on that. No, it is not legally recognized out here. Okay, so like the question is like she says, like, if I marry a female Mexican here, will this help me? You know what I mean? Like, again, I don't think it will because of that. I don't think it's gonna help because, again, if it's not legally recognized in Mexico, then it would not help. And again, if you marry, so if she is a natural born Mexican in Mexico, if she is a naturally born Mexican in the U.S., okay, then certain laws apply to you in the U.S. But once you come into Mexico, your marriage might not be recognized only because gay marriage is not recognized. But I don't really know that. In fact, maybe we could just do a quick search. Might as well, because I would like to know, actually, to tell you the truth. All right. Maybe Alemao knows. Maybe somebody else out there knows. Oh, look at that. Wikipedia should be good on this one. Okay. In Mexico, only civil marriages are recognized by law, and all proceedings fall under state legislation. So what does that mean? By court order, all states in Mexico either allow the performance of same-sex marriages or recognize such marriages when performed in other states. Same-sex marriage is performed in Mexico City and the states of... Okay, and these are the states. Yeah, Yucatan, I know, does not recognize it. So I know here they don't recognize it. So that's the thing. You need to kind of do some research on this. It seems like they do recognize it, but it might also seem like you might have to go to Mexico City and get married again. I don't know. This is something you either need to do research on, or you can pay me to do research for you, okay? But, you can do this for free. You're going to be doing the same thing I'm going to be doing, okay? But it seems that it seems like it is. In December 2019, the ruling party Morena introduced a constitutional amendment that would legalize same-sex marriage at the federal level, upgrading civil unions to marriage, and require all states to adjust their laws correspondingly within 3 months of this passage. Okay, so I guess there you go. Okay, we got a map here. Okay, yeah. So okay, you know what? Yeah, I would research if I were you. Research this, okay? There's tons of information out there for free, okay? But research it because, yeah, you know what? You might be able to get married in the United States to a Mexican, okay? And, a same-sex marriage in the United States to another Mexican, and that will most likely be recognized in Mexico as a legal marriage, according to what I see here. Very, quick research, okay? But again, I would look deeper into this, okay? And if your wife obviously speaks Spanish, she can go to the Mexico website and do even more research in Spanish just to make sure. But it seems like it's you're going to be fine, okay? It seems like you will be fine, okay? So there you go. There you go. So there you go. See, free help, and you didn't have to pay me at all. All right. So there you go. So yeah, look, I would really encourage you guys to do this on your own, especially if you speak Spanish, because look, there's a lot of, by the way, when you do research on Mexico stuff, I encourage you guys to also search in Spanish. So for example, if we would have typed in the search, is gay marriage legal in Mexico, and we didn't get a satisfactory answer, my suggestion to you is to ask it in Spanish. Is say, casamiento is, I don't know how to even say it in Spanish, but is gay casamiento in fucking Mexico legal? I know, you swear like I don't speak any Spanish. Yo sí hablo español, lo que soy medio, retardado. But anyway, speaking of which, just say it in Spanish in the Google search and you will get Spanish answers back. Also search, Spanish websites like Spanish government websites and so on and so forth. And again, ask your partner for details, okay? But yeah, it seems like you guys are good. I did not know this either. I learned something. So there you go. Perfect. Okay, but again, please do some more research on it. Please do research on it. Don't be just taking my word for it and what we just read there. Do a little bit of research, just a tiny bit. Dedicate 10 to 15 minutes for the love of God. Okay, just do a little research and you should have all your answers. Because again, like as you saw there from the map, not all places recognize and not all whatever. And look, another thing. Even though we just read right here in December 18th, 2019, the ruling party introduced, the whole same, that gay marriage is now legal on a national level, and that states have to implement this, 3 months, so meaning that all states across Mexico should have legal gay marriage by now. That's not the case. That's not the case because, Mexico is very, sovereign. They actually do respect state rights here. So plenty of states out there, most likely someone like the Yucatan, are still pushing hard on this and maybe not, implement, meaning that they'll recognize the federal marriage, but they're not going to have any marriages in the Yucatan yet, or whatever the fuck, okay? So look into all that, because you might have to, not just perform the marriage again in Mexico, but you might have to get it legalized in another state before you come to the Yucatan to get your papers here. But again, you need to do something like that because it's just like anything else. If you move to the U.S. and you're in Florida, you got to get your papers in Florida. If you move to Texas, you got to get your papers at Texas. So it's the same thing here. Just because you come to Mexico doesn't mean you can get your papers in Campeche or Quintana Roo or Mexico City and then you go to another state and you're fine. No, when you go to the other state, you got to get all the paperwork from that other state, change your address with the ID, all the same shit that you would do in the U.S., okay, in most places. So just keep that in mind, okay? So, all right, and I think that's it, guys. I think that's how we're ending it today on gay marriage talk. Sorry. Now, there's nothing wrong with it, guys. All right, who gives a fuck? Whatever tickles your pickle, right? Whatever creams your Twinkie. So I'm all inclusive, loving everybody and all that shit. So. All right, guys, I think that's it. I think we're going to call it quits. We're going to call it an end. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please, if you're interested, check out my YouTube page and check out the new membership option. Right here, join membership option. By this time next week, I'm going to have special gifts. I'm going to have special icons. I already got special icons. But anyways, there's a bunch of special things that you can acquire by getting a membership or whatever, something brand new that YouTube bestowed upon me. So thank you, YouTube, thank you. So with that being said, check that out. Check out my page on BitChute. Check out my page on Library. Join these. Check out my other web page. And then what is it? My other YouTube channel? Where is my other YouTube channel? How come it's not showing up here? Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, wait, one second. Check out my other YouTube channel. Here it is. Check me out on BitChute. Okay, on the other channel, I talk basically all about, Mexico and only Mexico. On this channel, I talk about what we were talking about earlier and then some. I got BitChute where I talk about everything. I got, Library. I got, everything and anything in between. Just check out all the links below. Please check out all the links below. In fact, check me out on CoinTree, okay, spelled how do I even, anyways, but just check out here. I gotta add this link to all the things in the description, but you can find all the links to all my crypto, where now you can finally send me a crypto donation, like a Bitcoin donation or whatever donation, and send me a message with the donation. Also, all the links, okay, everything, everything from not just my website, but things as obscure as float.com or float app, and DLive and what else do I have here? I think Gab. I got to put Gab on here and the podcast. And oh yeah, don't forget, check out the podcast. Check out everything, and so on and so forth, guys. So, all right, guys. I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed hanging out with you guys today. We really had a great old time. I hope you guys got some knowledge out of today's episode, some information out of today's episode. You know, whether it was learning more context on how to get ready for the new Civil War, or learning about the Civil War, or learning about gay marriage in Mexico, or whatever the fuck it is that you learned today. I really hope that you got some value and that, you know, I was able to help you and so on and so forth. So, guys, you already know the deal. Don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share. But most importantly, share these videos, share my channel, share all of this knowledge. That is the one thing I ask you for. Nothing else. If you want to take the extra step and help me out, again, you can donate some Bitcoin, donate a couple bucks here and there. Buy a COVID 1984 mask. All the links are down below. All right? Buy yourself a COVID 1984 mask. You know, buy yourself a fucking Bitcoin t-shirt. You know, leave me a couple bucks. Join in the membership, whatever. But you don't have to do any of that. If you really, really want to help, if you really, really want to help, spread the knowledge. All right? Spread me more than the fucking coronavirus. All right? I want to be more contagious than anything anyone's ever seen. Okay? So make me go viral. All right? Actually, whatever, bro. You know, don't worry about the viral thing. But just share the knowledge, okay? If you found any of this interesting, if you think anyone out there could use this knowledge, share it, okay? That is the one way that we can all help each other, okay? And that's it. So, with that being said, thanks again for watching. I freaking love you guys. You guys are the best, and I'll see you guys next week. Or I'll probably see you guys in a few days. Check out the other channel. Hit the bell icon on this one. I'm dropping videos all the time. Love you. Peace out. Bye.